Now, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Riptide 1 year later. Was it as good as everyone's talking about how it is right now, or is it just blinded nostalgia on the fact that we're hoping for a new operation very, very soon, hopefully before 2023? Now, if you guys are unsure with what I'm talking about, if you guys haven't been able to tell, every comment, every video, every post on social media towards CSGO and the future of it, well, the end of this year and going into next, has been having a lot of copium and hopium for the next CSGO operation. But also with that, people have been talking about the past couple of operations, how they've been very, very good. I mostly agree with Operation Broken Fang being a very good operation, but Operation Riptide wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, and no, that's what I want to discuss in today's video. And this could also be some of the reason we're not going to be receiving one anytime soon. Valve needs more time to create something better, more innovative, and something new. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button and of course subscribe. And here's a quick word from my video sponsor, Skins Monkey.
Now, today's video sponsor is, of course, Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is currently the easiest and also fastest way you can buy, but most importantly, trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance that can be used the next time you end up trading skins. It has 3 ways you can inspect, but most importantly, has a very in-depth inspect feature that you can see corners on a karambit, for an example, that you can't really see otherwise unless you have the item in-game. If you end up topping up your balance, make sure to use promo code MANDO to get up to a 35% deposit bonus and a free $5 on the first trade.
Over the years, the CSGO community has been somewhat blinded by updates in skins, cases, stickers, anything that has a monetary value to it rather than the actual game itself, besides majors and operations. Operations recently, like I said earlier in other videos as well, has been a big talk of the town. Don't get me wrong, I would love an operation. It would be very good. It'd also be very good for the community. We get new skins, but also on top of that, it would freshen up the game. We'd get something new to do, especially with those operation missions, and maybe they could bring something new and innovative where maybe it was different than the past 3, right? Maybe we use something different besides operation stars and the battle pass structure they had the past 2. Operation Riptide being the very last one that came out, the community has held this at a god tier level recently. But when we look at this with rose-tinted glasses, I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. That was the 3rd year in a row we got an operation around the exact same time, in the fall, winter, and the end of the year type of thing. It seemed like a pattern, right? Going into Operation Riptide, the skins, the stickers, and the knives, and the collections were absolutely amazing. I think actually this is where this operation shined the most. These skins specifically was just absolutely amazing, especially a big step up from Operation Riptide and even some may say Shattered Web. Broken Fang didn't have the best skins at the time, people weren't too flattered by them. We tried to make do with what we had, but Riptide came out and made us feel like these were just so much better, and I think they are, and I think the prices nowadays especially speak a lot for those. The case itself, well, this thing, it was a little weird, right? It was for an operation, the Broken Fang case performed fairly well, and it sort of seemed to be from the Shattered Web, Broken Fang, and going forward, that these were going to be a solid investment, but let alone if you wanted to make just straight up money from the battle pass and cash out as soon as you could to get that money back, cases were the way to go. And while this wasn't the entire thing for Operation Riptide, people at first really liked this case, and then it started slowly falling down, and that's kind of where we are today. Yes, it is rare, but it's not as expensive as rare as I think people were hoping. It introduced brand new knives that looked absolutely amazing, but were kind of heavily rumored, and people thought these were going to come out for a very long time. They weren't really anything new. They were just old finishes on older knives, trying to get that out of the way. And what I think really ruined this case was, yes, the skins inside of it, but like Broken Fang, the golds inside of it that made this thing very rare once again came out in the following case that was going to continue to drop for a very long time that was not having anything to do with the past operation. That of course affects the case price quite a bit. The agents were pretty good, and this kind of speaks for all monetary items. All the things part of this operation that you could buy, that you could trade, were pretty solid, especially some of these guys. They were funny, they changed up the game and how you played, and that's what I've enjoyed recently about every other operation. Agents are something that are kind of gaining popularity for very good reason. They change up how you look in game with your gloves, of course. Yes, you can apply patches, but still no one really cares about them. They have different voice lines, and when you end a game, it has a different loading screen, which is pretty cool. Patches were kind of mid, they kind of sucked. The hype alongside them weren't really huge. I mean, you look at Stockholm patches at the time, we also had those, which I think people were more eyeballing at the time than Operation Riptide patches. Now they're only really hyped up because they're very expensive, because no one bought them at the time. and that's for a pretty good reason. I think they just sucked. The stickers were absolutely amazing, and this is something I loved about the operation. These stickers were absolutely mind-blowing, super underrated, underinvested with amazing effects. and we'll probably never see anything like them again. The reason for their underinvestment was, well, if you look at the time, Stockholm and Antwerp were very close to each other and also going on at the exact same time. Everyone was caught up in those, but also people were kind of burnt out on stickers, right? We were unsure if these were going to feel or be rare once again. And well, now these stickers alongside those majors are pretty successful. The skins, okay? The new collections were absolutely amazing. Everyone was hyped up by them. I was myself. The only thing that I hope gets changed in the future, these skins and collections were absolutely amazing. The new collections, I wouldn't say really anyone had a huge problem with them. The only ones that kind of sucked and that I hope we don't see again in the future in some sort of capacity, like with similarities I mean, is the train collection, how they did that with the two reds or the two coverts. The Glock Gamma Doppler and the M4A4 Coalition. At the time, no one was using the A4, and at the time, the Glock Gamma Doppler, really cool concept, but the fact that you could get it, especially being an Emerald with a 1 out of 2 chance and then 1 out of 4, was just absolutely stupid. I didn't like that whatsoever. But the biggest problem and takeaway from this operation was, of course, the souvenirs. The reds don't really feel as special as they once were a few years ago. Maybe with Operation Hydra, Operation Wildfire, or even going back somewhere to Bravo. These reds just don't feel as special as they used to be. The Op Desert Hydra, take this for an example. When it first came out, it was very expensive. It was very awesome to look at. But as soon as we saw these Stockholm souvenir packages, it was pretty much over. Souvenir packages, I've talked about these in the past, how they've ruined quite a few things, including the souvenir packages themselves. Souvenirs do not feel rare. There's a reason they're so cheap nowadays, is well, you can buy as much as you want. And with every single major, as long as it has the exact same collection, yeah, it switches up the stickers, but the stickers aren't really special either. The operation itself, the bread and butter of today's videos, and why I don't think we're gonna get an operation anytime soon. I could be shooting myself in the foot for saying this, but the operation was bad. At least the gameplay part of itself. The first thing, why it was bad. Operation Broken Fang stats. They were free for 4 months. They were free. You could have them in game, you could play with them as long as you bought the operation, which was just absolutely amazing. It introduced Premier, which obviously came back with Operation Riptide and came back again and stayed again in the future because people liked it so much. 4 months before Riptide, they make you pay $1 a month that should have stayed or at least re-released with the next operation and could have stayed in the game. Just makes absolutely no sense. And it doesn't even really offer you much, but you can go onto a different website online, CSGO Stats for example, and just look at these things and it will give you even better and more detailed information, especially on the enemies you'll be playing. There was a lot of reused missions, and this is my biggest problem with this. Every operation, co-op missions are always my favorite thing to do with some of my friends. Yes, there is an argument that you have to play with 2 people or find a buddy, but it's not that hard. You can queue for it if you really wanted to, or they can make that feature. There was no co-op missions throughout the entire operation, and this was my biggest issue. It's the most detailed, yes, it's somewhat of a campaign level type mission from a Call of Duty game. Not the most unique thing in the world, but it brings the fun to Counter-Strike, and that's what I love about these things, and it just wasn't there. This is what I was looking forward to. I'm not asking for one every single week, maybe one every 5 weeks or whatever. I just hope they return in the future. And the reason we didn't get them? Well, probably because they didn't have enough time to make them. They take probably a long time. They have to find voice actors, make the voice lines, make the levels themselves, and make some sort of storyline throughout the entire thing. It was the exact same Battle Pass and Battle Pass tier system. Yes, it was good, but some sort of change would have been nice. And that's something I hope we see with the next one, you know? Maybe every 2 years, if this is what we're going to do, if we're going to have an operation every year, every 2 years, we change it up somewhat. Change it up a little bit, even if that's just the layout of the battle pass. It'd be cool to see something a little different. Operation Riptide was pretty much Broken Fang, but with better tradable items and better things to sell in the market, but a worse operation in gameplay wise, if that makes any sense. Co-op missions were the best part of Broken Fang and well, every other operation, and with rose-tinted glasses, Riptide wasn't the best thing as everyone remembers. At the beginning of Operation Riptide, I'm not sure if people can really remember this either, but there were a lot of broken things. You couldn't trade anything. The Steam market and trading were down for the first 2 or 3 days. On top of that, things in-game were broken. Floats didn't make any sense. When you unbox something, it would be a blank screen. It would show a blank in your inventory. And this is pretty much why I hope the next operation takes more time to make. I hope they spend more time and more detail on it, change things up. I'm not asking for a new game, but make things refreshing and make me want to pay $10, $15, $20 for this thing and have a good time overall, especially to make content. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. I just want to be pretty vocal with how I feel about CSGO's next operation and the ones prior. I wouldn't say I'm too hard on this thing considering on how much money Valve makes from me and well, everyone else who spends money on their game, opening cases, buying capsules, and really whatever else they can throw at us. Let me know what you guys think. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.